Do you have a solid, actionable plan to build financial stability or prosperity in your future? That's a question that relatively few Americans ask themselves. Those who want to do more than ask questions take action. It's never too early and it's never too late to put yourself on the path to prosperity. I am Michael Santos with Alternative Investment Seminars. During this 20-minute video, I'll teach how my wife Carol and I went from literally ground zero to exceed $5 million in assets within 5 years. We used leverage to invest in real estate. Now we're using leverage to own real estate in the beautiful country of Belize, and we're making it possible for you to do the same. Want the story without the video? Then enter your contact information on our website, and I'll send you a free digital copy of my book, Prison to Paradise, and more on that title later. You see, Carol and I were never on a get-rich-quick scheme. I won't be talking about such tactics here. This video isn't for the individual who talks about wanting to become successful, but only looks for wins like lottery tickets. We cannot help the person who wants to get rich quick without taking any action, without making a commitment, or without exercising patience. Quick money schemes may work for some, but we pursued a more deliberate strategy. And through Alternative Investment Seminars, I show the strategy that worked for us. I show how the strategy can work for you, and I offer opportunities for you to buy real estate in Belize with no money down and no credit check. To achieve prosperity, my wife and I followed an actionable plan with deliberate steps over a determined time frame. If you want to build financial prosperity, get started now. If you don't, that's fine too. Many people choose the path of least resistance, hoping that Social Security or IRA plans or a magic genie will take care of them in retirement. Yet millions of Americans who live with their head in the sand suffer financial stress and turmoil in the years ahead. All too often, they end up with more month than money. If you want to change your outcomes, change your plan. The plan that works for us isn't complicated. It centers on owning appreciating assets in appreciating markets. It's about using leverage to accelerate the creation of equity and wealth over time. And trust me, if I could do it, anybody can. Again, this message is not for those who want some type of magic pill that will make them rich overnight. I don't discuss cryptocurrencies or complicated instruments with so many moving parts that make the model incomprehensible. Carol and I made our money in good old-fashioned real estate, and we're continuing that strategy with real estate investments in the beautiful country of Belize. Through this 20-minute video, I'll show how you can own real estate in Belize even if you don't have any money for a down payment, even if you have a low credit score that hinders your ability to borrow money. One thing is certain, it would be impossible for you to have a lower credit score than I had when I began investing in real estate. You may want to know how I can offer you an opportunity to own real estate with nothing down. After all, it's tough to find nothing down real estate opportunities in the U.S. On the other hand, the world is a lot bigger than the U.S., and with our national debt levels rising with each election, the time is right to plant investments outside of the U.S., where there are no capital gains taxes and minimal property taxes. In this video, I'll show how you can own appreciating assets by looking beyond the U.S. in the enchanting paradise of Belize. Later in the video, I'll give you 80 million reasons why owning real estate in Belize makes so much sense. But here's a hint. Baby boomers who are preparing for retirement. If you can get ahead of that curve, you will absolutely build prosperity. Now, I'm not asking anyone to do anything that I am not doing. In fact, I handed a $1.5 million cashier's check to an international real estate developer, and I took on new debt to get the best possible deal. Now I am in a position to offer opportunities to 25 people who want to take action. That's right, I have 25 opportunities for people to own real estate in the incredible appreciating market of Belize, and they can get their property with no money down and no credit check. Are you a person who wants to own real estate? Well, stick with the video and you'll see that it is as easy as getting one of these coupon books. Make your monthly payments and you're a landowner, benefiting as the developer pours millions into improvements. As the developer carries out the master plan, property values increase, building your equity and your wealth. Contact our team at Alternative Investment Seminars today. This opportunity will appeal to anyone who wants to 1. Avoid volatility of the stock market, 2, get a better return on investment than a savings account or a bond fund can provide. 3, get instant equity by owning real estate in an oceanfront community of Belize. Or 4, begin a methodical plan that will lead to several $100,000 in equity in the years ahead. If that's you, then stick with me through this video. The entire video lasts about 20 minutes, and we've already covered the first 6 minutes. Before getting into the opportunities I am offering for real estate ownership in Belize, or the teaching, let me share the strategies that worked for my wife, Carol, and me. Again, if you'd rather read the story than listen to the story, simply enter your name and email address on our website. I'll send you a free copy of my newest book that explains it all. If you enter your phone number, someone from our team will call and respond to any questions you have about how and why these strategies can work for you. Now, there's no pressure here. With this video, I am striving to accomplish 3 simple goals. 1, to teach the strategy my wife and I use to grow our assets from 0 to more than $5 million in 5 years. 2, to show how that strategy can work for you. And 3, to offer an alternative investment for those who want to own land in the beautiful paradise of Belize with no money down. But first, the backstory. In August of 2012, Carol and I were both 48, and we weren't at all ready for retirement. You see, when I was 20, I made some very bad decisions. I concocted a scheme with friends from high school to sell cocaine, and I ultimately became one of the biggest dealers in Miami. When I was 23, in 1987, authorities arrested me for those crimes. As a result, a federal judge sentenced me to serve a 45-year prison term. While incarcerated, I made a commitment to reconcile with society for the bad decisions I made as a young man. That strategy carried me through 9,500 days in prison, and it taught me how to plant seeds early for a successful outcome. It is the same strategy I used to begin preparing for success and ultimately led to my ownership of land in Belize. While in prison, I earned a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, I published several books, and I married Carol. Earnings from books I wrote supported Carol financially, and she returned to school to become a registered nurse. Together, we built a record of striving to contribute to society while simultaneously working to prepare for prosperity. Several books and news articles chronicle that story, and the national media has reported on the journey extensively. If you're interested in reading about it, simply Google my name. I'll limit this video to sharing how deliberate strategies and taking action led to real estate ownership and success. I'll also present opportunities for you to use leverage in ways that will allow you to own real estate in the paradise of Belize. It was August 13th, 2012 when the gates opened for me. Carol picked me up and drove me to San Francisco, where we would begin our life together. Although I didn't know it then, we were emerging from the greatest recession of our lifetime. People were afraid of investing. Despite those circumstances, I pledged to Carol that we would control $1 million in assets within 5 years. Setting that goal may have sounded like big talk for a guy who had been in prison for a quarter century. After all, besides my felony conviction and prison term, I had a 000 credit score. Some argued that I should set my sights just a little lower. But I kept my eyes on the future, just as I am suggesting you do. How can you take advantage of opportunities today in light of what you expect to happen in the future? I knew that I would need to control assets that would rise in value, and I would need leverage to own more assets. If I were to focus on a job alone, I'd never get to the first million. I'd need to think critically, unconventionally, and strategically. Have you been thinking strategically about preparing for your prosperity? Can you get there with a job alone? If not, then take action today. Don't be like 75% of the American population that is not saved, planned, or prepared. Those people are on the pathway to disaster. What seeds can you sow to prepare for prosperity in your future? What action steps can you take now? Those are good questions to ask. Consider the growing number of retirees. Are there ways for you to invest to get ahead of that curve? In 2012, Carol and I had to take action toward our plan of using leverage to acquire assets. And we considered 3 types of asset classes that could potentially lead to success. Each asset class had strengths and weaknesses. Stocks, for example, were one type of asset class that we considered. Purchasing stocks had the advantage of liquidity, but there was risk. If I didn't like the way the stock performed, sure, I could always sell. But with stocks, I'd have limitations with regard to leverage, and if I leveraged too much and the trade went the wrong way, I could lose everything, even go into debt. So stocks were not the right vehicle for us. Another asset class would be launching our own business. But I had to acknowledge my weakness. My lengthy imprisonment meant that I missed out on a lot. For example, when I got out, I had never before sent an email or used a cell phone. I didn't feel that I was in a position of strength to launch the type of business that could lead to my goal. Real estate, on the other hand, would be the perfect type of asset class. For one thing, we could leverage our way into owning real estate. And as the economy improved, the value of our real estate would rise. Either way, real estate would always have value. That wasn't the case for stocks or a business, as many people know. So for those reasons, we chose real estate as the asset class that would help us grow. And through a series of unconventional and conventional transactions, I began a methodical, step-by-step approach to doing as many deals as possible. Over the next 5 years, a combination of buying properties, selling properties, developing properties, and leasing properties led to more than $9 million worth of transactions. At the start of 2018, less than 5 years after I got out, we controlled more than $3 million in assets. We had a net worth of well over $1 million, and our real estate holdings kicked off a steady income of more than $15,000 every month from tenants. Now, I don't say that to pat myself on the back, but to show success is possible for those who use leverage to own appreciating assets in appreciating markets. But by 2018, real estate prices had gone through the roof in the U.S. There was no way we could replicate in the U.S. over the next 5 years what we had done over the previous 5 years. We had to ask new questions and find new opportunities. And those questions are what led us to Belize. Do you want the details? I'm happy to provide details for every transaction, but doing so will take a lot longer than the 20 minutes I set aside for this video. Visit alternativeinvestmentseminars.com and you can watch a series of shorter videos that reveal every transaction, or enter your name and email on our website and I'll send a free digital copy of my book, Prison to Paradise, immediately. More important than our story is how you can own real estate in the paradise of Belize today. Use leverage to build your prosperity. One thing is certain, I have never asked anyone to do anything that I am not doing. You'll find that I'm 100% transparent. I made a deal with a developer using my capital and financial strength to build property in the paradise of Belize. Now I can offer 25 opportunities to people who take action. Invest with no money down and no credit check. Okay, we are now about 13 minutes into the video. Let's get to the opportunity. I have shown you the $1.5 million cashier's check that I handed to the developer. That's what I paid for a seat at the table. With that capital investment, along with a monthly commitment to service the balance that I owe, I now control 25 lots in the beautiful, gated, oceanfront community known as the Reserve. The award-winning property is amazing. With a marina, a beach club, and restaurants and bar, I can sell property I own to anyone I want under any terms that I want. And I am selling property for no money down with instant equity to all buyers. Here's how and why I can do it. As a result of the $1.5 million cashier's check I provided, along with a commitment to make regular monthly payments, I provided immediate value to the developer. The developer could use that capital to continue investing in the master plan. He doesn't have to pay a commission or pay high marketing costs. As a result, I negotiated my purchase price at a quantity discount, using a combination of cash and leverage, just as I did when buying property in the United States. I am able to pass along my discounts to anyone who takes advantage of my offer. So join me in preparing for retirement with the alternative investment of international real estate. Carol and I made our initial money by investing in the U.S. But as one of my mentors said, what got you here won't get you there. The model that worked for us in the past was no longer available in the United States. Prices were just too high. So I began researching a handful of countries that seemed to be real estate hotspots for the growing number of retirees. And the country of Belize quickly stood out for a variety of reasons. I traveled to Belize on a fact-finding mission, and research convinced me. Opportunities to create wealth with real estate were even better in Belize than they were when I began investing in the U.S. So I took action, just like I'm suggesting that you do. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the baby boomer population would lead to higher demands for real estate in warm, tropical countries. Besides extraordinary beauty, Belize offered a relatively inexpensive cost of living and subsidized healthcare for retirees. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. You'll find, as I found, that the United States government predicts the number of Americans who want to retire overseas will grow by 17% every year. And it's no wonder why. Retirees search for locations where fixed income dollars stretch farther. They search for locations where governments subsidize medical coverage and offer pharmaceuticals at better prices. They search for locations where they can avoid political turmoil and rhetoric that has become so common in the U.S. And they search for locations that aren't burdened with massive national debt levels that threaten their standard of living and stability. Belize is a tropical paradise that appeals to millions of retirees. And so since I knew that, I structured a deal to replicate exactly what I did in the U.S. First, I used a combination of conventional and unconventional means to raise $1.5 million in liquidity. Second, I combined that liquidity with a debt obligation to negotiate a win-win agreement with the developer, leading to my control of 25 lots. And third, I created a sales plan to sell those 25 lots for no money down, with no credit check, to people just like you, individuals who want to prepare for prosperity. Now, I'm neither a financial advisor nor a commission-based salesperson. I don't have any licenses other than a driver's license. I am a person who looks for opportunities, and I take action by putting my money where my mouth is. If you want to take action, then seize the initiative. Enter your name, email address, and phone number on our website form. I'll send you a free digital copy of Prison to Paradise. You will learn how taking action led to our prosperity and how taking action can lead to your prosperity. Either I or someone from my team will contact you, or call us today at the phone number on the screen. I am offering 25 lots for sale in a beautiful, oceanfront, award-winning community. Invest in real estate with no money down. I offer better interest rates than anyone can find in the U.S. So use leverage to control an appreciating asset. It is the same strategy that led to prosperity for Carol and me. I'll leave the ball in your court. You can either talk about wanting to create prosperity, or you can take action by buying real estate today with no money down and no credit check. Opportunities are limited, but those who act today can own an appreciating asset in an appreciating market without volatility of the stock market. This strategy led to our first million, and the strategy can lead to millions in equity for you. Register on our website for a webinar to learn more, or come to our live event in a city near you. Check out more videos on our website to learn a little bit more about why this makes so much sense. I'll show how and why I expect the properties I am offering will outperform savings accounts, CD accounts, bond funds, or even stocks by a long shot. Contact us today and we'll get you started on your path to prosperity. Remember, prosperity begins when you take action. Own your slice of paradise today. I am Michael Santos with Alternative Investment Seminars, and I hope to hear from you.